I welcome you to yet another tutorial web formation processes. I remember I uploaded a tutorial on this very topic, but now that we are aware we are going to do objective test in exam, I decided to look at the same topic from another angle. It will be useful for us to have access to these slides, tutorial, to help us to look at the topic again and again from the angle of an objective test. I've uploaded a few questions which we can consider at the end. So, word formation processes. We know that every language has a way or ways by which it adds to the volume of words it already has. And we went through the process of trying to identify a few of them. It's the same that I'm doing here, but with a little flavor of looking at the whole thing from the perspective of an objective test or normally call MCQs. If you are studying for an examination and you're looking at the material as from the perspective of written exercise, as in trying to express yourself in words, the focus may be different from if you want to look at it from the point of an objective test. So, as just a revision, let's look at the topics, let's look at the elements, let's look at the some of the definitions of the ways by which languages form new words. Compound or compounding, we talk about it at length. Two or more full words. Remember that in examination, the exam may not use the word full word, may not use the word full, but in any way, in the case we hear words, it means the same as full words. Full words. So the adjective full may not be used there. Remember, full word means full words. That's mean words. So we saw a typical example of class plus room making classroom, notes plus book making notebook. Now, there are three categories of compounds with space. In other words, you see the word with space. Store. There's a space between the two words. There's a compound. Diving board, flower pot, or things like vice chancellor, secretary general. Those words are written with space in between them, but they are considered as compounds. Secretary general, attorney general, they are not written with hyphens. Know that. So toy store, diving board, and flower pot. The type compounds with which must be hyphenated. We saw an example of mother-in-law, long-term loan, short-term loan, and a few others which we cited in class. The type of compounds without hyphen, without space. In other words, they are written as one word. Washroom, pickpocket, haircut, headache, songwriter. Then we can also have verb compounds. See, we did not discuss this in class, but of course, verb compounds. For example, dry clean. See, two verbs constituting a single verb or constituting a single action. Sleepwalk, to sightsee, to breastfeed. We also have adjective compounds. For example, hand-woven hood, a a life-giving food, widespread news. Adjectives is wide and spread news, airborne disease. Adjective compounds. Now, so look at it. We discussed in class that it is possible to derive the meaning of the compound from the individual words. For example, football is a kind of ball, probably a kind of ball which is normally kicked by the foot. Classroom is a room where a class is organized. But then, if you say hot dog, it doesn't mean that it's a dog which is hot. See, it's a different hot dog. I think is food or so. Then greenhouse. Greenhouse also doesn't mean a house which is green. So it is possible to derive the meaning of the compound from the original words, individual words, but not always the case. Very good. Blending using parts of existing words. Using parts of existing words, that's a key word there. Unlike compounding, we use words or full words or whole words. Blends use parts. Now, one important topic we discussed was acronyms. Look at it. Their initial letters are pronounced individually. So all these come on acronyms. GPC, TV, OAU, individual letters are pronounced, initial words are pronounced individually. And acronym, initial letters are pronounced as single word. So these are all come under acronyms. I want you to look at it from this angle. ECOWAS, WHO, SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, RADAR. So see these ones on the left-hand side. You can just see them as a word. ECOWAS, WHO, SAP, NATO, RADAR. That's what it means. A closely linked to this is abbreviation. Abbreviations rather seems not to be prominent, but look at it. An abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or phrase. So, for example, doctor, people say just doctor. Avenue, AVE. Department, DEPT. Doctor again is could be doc. So these are examples of abbreviation. Not many. It looks like the whole thing is actually acronym. That's what it seems like. Now you can refer to my slides on the class. The slides are prepared for the class, and then we have more examples there as we did in class. I have a lot of examples. Now, please, abbreviations and acronyms. I want you to look for example number of them pertaining to the medical field, because I don't know what example contains. Sometimes the acronym or the abbreviation is stated there, and then you are supposed to explain. So there are options explaining the acronym or what the letters stand for in the examination, and it will be useful for you to pick a few of them, especially in the medical field, like what is OPD, what is this, what is that. They will be explained, and you try to know what the letters stand for. It's very important. Clipping, a long word, subtraction of one or more syllables from a word. The remaining portion of the word and the original long word have the same meaning. um, the syllables are dropped so that something which is long becomes shorter, or the word is reduced. Whichever way you see the word is used in the examination, I expect you to be able to identify this particular word formation process. You don't need to see the words, the very words that are used in the examination, sorry, in our class. But when it is described, you should be able to identify it. Syllables are dropped or the word is shortened. So, but let's look at specific examples. Um, Initial clipping, the front of the word is removed. So internet has lost the front part. So we have net, telephone is we retain the last part, which is phone. Website, we have site. Then clipping, final clipping, the end of the word is removed. Advertisement is the end is taken off, so we have advert or ad. Dormitory, the end is taken off, we have dorm. Photograph, the end is taken off, we have photo. Then initial and final clipping, then beginning and the end of the words or the word is lost. So influencer becomes fluid. Refrigerator becomes fridge. But in this case, as I was indicating, there is a modification to what is left. So it's fridge, there's an insertion of D after removing the front and the back. Now, there's something called back formation, which we did not discuss in class. What happens is that in English, there are some set of words which are on the left-hand side here. They are the longer words. And if you look at them, they are actually verbs. Sorry, nouns. They are nouns. From these nouns, the verbs are derived. What it means is that the nouns were the first to enter the language. So when the nouns enter the language, it's possible that the verbs were derived from the nouns. So we have peddler. From that, we derive the word pedal. So editor, we have edit from editor. We have hawk from hawker. Enthuse from enthusiasm. Stoke from stoker. I'm not sure about this spelling, forgive me. But we have swindle from swindler. So in examination, you may see a word like that, then they will say, this is derived from. If it is derived from, then it's back formation. It actually is a kind of clipping, but specifically, it is back formation. You see a verb derived from a noun. Televise from television, and donate from donation. Coinage, the process whereby new words are created outright, either deliberately or accidentally. Usually, words are coined to express new ideas, processes, products, etc. in the language. It's worth pointing out that the invention of new words is sometimes based on existing words. Very good. So it is sometimes based on existing words. So things like Google was coined by somebody. Clickstart was coined by somebody. Umu and maybe Xerox. Umu, Xerox. So we have Clickstart, Umu, Xerox. Then Canon. All these are products. Canon product. But then I propose that a word like Doomsaw is also coined. Doomsaw is coined. This word has assumed currency. Let's assume a status, international status that you can find it on the you can find it on the internet, even though you may not find it in any hard cover or hard copy dictionary of English. At least you find it online. And it's possible that a time will come when it could be found in the English language dictionary. Conversion is a process by which new words are created by using a word in new functions. That is a functional shift, changing or converting its original grammatical class to another class. What this simply means is a word is used as one part of speech, and that same word, without changing the form of the word, without changing the spelling, changing the shape, that same word can be used as another part of speech. Bring me water to water my plants. Bring me water to water my plants. Water in this case is noun, the first one, then to water is a verb. Let's put the fish in a can is noun. Let's can the fish is a verb. So this is what we call conversion. You convert one word from a part of speech to another word to function in a different domain. It's possible to even have a noun functioning as an adjective. For example, let's take something like car. Car is a noun. But then we can also use it. Well, let's buy a new car door. A new car door. I don't know, but you see that car in this case is modifying door. So I can say that the word is performing a word of an adjective. Let's buy a new car door. Where car modifies door. What type of door? A car door. I think that in that case we're trying to shift the the function, the grammatical category to which car belongs. We shift it from noun to adjective. I think so. Now, conversion, we can have produce and produce. You see, the same word, produce a verb, produce is a noun. Export and export. These are new exports. Things that are supposed to be exported, they are export. Then we can export. Then import and import. Think about some of these things. I sent you a couple of slides on, I sent you some PDF files on some of these things. I remember. Borrowing is a process by which new words are formed by adopting words from other languages together with the concept. Yes, they stand for. Kudita is French, cafe is French, mango is Spanish, kwashiorkor is from Ghana. Now, so look for more examples. Derivation, you're adding a morpheme to a root of bees morpheme to form another word. To a root of bees morpheme to form another word. I think we discussed extensively what is free morpheme. Free morpheme stands by itself. It can be on its own. In other words, if you go to a dictionary, you can get that word listed there with its meaning. So that free morpheme, which has its own meaning, can be a base or root. So derivation, we add a morpheme to an existing full morpheme. So peace becomes peaceful, n plus enable, amend and amendments. So adding um, a morpheme to a base or root or a free morpheme to form another word, it will be derivation. So now let's have some sample questions. I discussed this with some of my classes anyway. The original word from which the word webinar is composed of are. So these are the answers. You have to look through and see which answers. Sometimes it's only that the spelling of a word is misspelled intentionally to see whether you can identify the correct thing. The word liquor is possibly created by a word formation process known as. If you remember, liquor, I think it's an Arabic source. It's from Arabic source, so the answer should be borrowing. We need to go to Google to Google the word. Here you can see Google is used to as a noun and as a verb. The formation process is used above is I think it should be conversion. So this will be simple and easy for you. What does the acronym READER stands for? Maybe I should put this in a capital letter, I don't know. Stands for radio detection and ranger. Radio detecting and ranging. Radio detections and ranging. Radio detection and ranging. You must try to know some basic acronyms and their meaning. It's possible that in examination, the examiner will just change some of the wording and then just find out whether you know the correct spelling or the correct items which constitute the acronym. Thank you very much, and I wish you well. Remember to subscribe, remember to like the video, and you can ask any question if you have one. I wish you well.